Lo que hemos hecho es tomar cientos de aplicaciones que nuestros usuarios nos exigían, digamos, que los clientes necesitaban. Y lo que hicimos con eso fue tomar esos requerimientos y diseñar soluciones para ellos.
Con Responsive Web Design nosotros logramos que una misma aplicación ejecute bien en cualquier browser, de cualquier tamaño.
Todas estas características que hemos incorporado en la Evolution 3 se suman a un conjunto de características que hemos seguido evolucionando con GeneXus. Características orientadas en la interoperabilidad entre sistemas, interoperar con una base de datos, poder interoperar con servicios, poder interoperar con diferentes módulos escritos en diferentes lenguajes, como puede ser Java, C#, Ruby, etc.
La tecnología evoluciona cada segundo y GeneXus ha estado al frente del desarrollo de software por más de 25 años.
Nuestro paradigma es completamente diferente, no es un paradigma de tercera generación en donde el programador tiene que sentarse a programar cada uno de esos lenguajes, sino que es un paradigma basado en modelos, los cuales le dan un nivel de abstracción mayor y nos permite enfocarnos únicamente en la captura del conocimiento y no en la captura de código.
Es un orgullo poder presentarle GeneXus X Evolution 3, que es la última y la más inteligente plataforma de desarrollo de software.
¿Sonora? Minutos. Arrancamos. Hola, buenos días.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Federico Azzato. I'm part of the GeneXus development team. Before my presentation, I promise that by the end you will think that what we do is very out of date. We'll look at a new way, a revolutionary way to design applications. It eliminates friction from the moment we make a change in the design till the time we observe the effects of such change. The purpose of my presentation is to show you that GeneXus is the best tool to design multi-platform applications. The menu today has an appetizer, a main course, and the dessert. To start with, we know that it is getting more and more important for the applications we develop to have a good user experience. The users are becoming more demanding. Now, what do we do at the time of developing an application to make sure that the result is going to apply a good user experience? Over the last few days, several presentations gave us clues as to how to achieve that. There will be another presentation after mine with more ideas about what we are doing in this regard. But now I would like to focus on a very common case where the design of the user experience is delayed till the very last minute. In the beginning, we focus on developing the features of the application to get a good result, but then they leave all the design and development of users' experience till the very end. And this effect is not by accident. It's the consequence of the way we develop applications in recent years. For many years, we have developed Win applications with this type of editor. In the editor, this is a transaction editor. It's exactly the same. This is what we see also in execution. So this type of editor that you know very well is WYSIWYG. What you see is exactly as what you get. And this is our comfort area. We are very good designing applications with this type of tool. Because insofar as we move forward in the development of the application, we have an idea of what the application will be like when we execute it. We accommodate the controls, and we see what the final result will be before we execute the application. Then technology moved on, and we had the web applications. In the editor, what we see is not what we end up doing, because we have master pages, work components, and themes, and other complexities of the platform. So what we have here is something very similar to a WYSIWYG. What we see is close enough to what you get. It's not exactly the same. Now, in addition, we have another complexity. Until we execute this, we are not sure about the screen, because in the designer, a screen without data doesn't look as good, does not reflect exactly what the application will be once we execute it. So what is the problem with this type of editor? In order to adjust all the design details and design a user interface to generate a good user experience, we execute the application to see the result of each change in the design. We touch something, and we have to save objects, specify them, generate them, compile them, eventually transfer them to a web server, execute the application, navigate to the screen we want, and then confirm whether the change we did a minute ago got the effect we wanted, or if we need to make more adjustments. Now the reality gets a little bit more complex. We have abstract editors, that are necessary to develop responsive web applications or smart devices applications. So what we see here is far, far from reality of how to execute an application. This type of editor I call whizzingly gagagi. What you see is nothing like what you get, and God help you in understanding this. I have a patent, but you can use it freely. You have copyright and my permission. Now, what is the problem with this type of editor? Very quickly, we organize the structure of the screen, we organize the controls, but any change in the design requires executing the application, and we lose 1, 2, 3 minutes. These are wasted until we see the effect of that change. So how can we overcome some of these problems? That was the appetizer. Now let's move into the main course. Let me share some of the ideas we're working on. For some time we have been investing time and effort to optimize and enhance wasted time. Wasted time is the time that it takes me to specify an object, transfer the object, all of that. That's wasted time to move from a change in the object to see the result of that change. So for a long time we've been investing a lot of effort in trying to reduce those wasted times. We have optimized some codes that could be optimized, and in parallel, some jobs can be done in parallel. We have a better use of idle processors, and all of that had good effects when we are putting together the whole application. So if we want to look at the specific effect of one modification we just made, we are wasting a lot of time. So one day it came to us Master Chef Henry Milano, who said, if I had asked the chefs what they wanted, they would have said a faster oven. That I'm quoting Henry Milano. And that's true. We are trying to have a faster oven. But we should be instead looking for other solutions to that problem, solutions that we had not anticipated. Nobody had yet found, nobody had solved this problem then. After that, we had the good luck of reading a presentation by Brett Victor, and Mr. Brichter, in his presentation called Inventing on Principle, said, creators need an immediate connection with what they create. And this is precisely what we want to have with our applications. Imagine what would happen if I have GeneXus running, I have an application running, and from GeneXus I send notifications to that application insofar as I make modifications on the subject without saving the subject or theme. That first idea was the first ingredient in this new course that we were preparing. And this dish then required more ingredients. We didn't give a name to this dish. It did not exist. So we baptized it, and the christened name was SD Preview, Runny Editor. Other name was Immediate Preview. Finally, the dish was called Live Editing. I will call Guillermo Pasquero to join me here on the stage, and we will show you what this new live editing concept is. Welcome, Willie. To talk about live editing, I have an example that can be downloaded from GeneXus. What I'm going to show you is this application generated for the web. It's executing. Is that corresponding to a KB in your notebook? Yes. This is a theme. Can we see this? Too small? One of the changes I want to make is the following. I will make changes, gross changes, so that we can see it clearly. I will exaggerate the change. I will change one property on the grid. For example, here, color pattern. This should affect the header. Wow! Let's make another change. Now, please tell me, you have GeneXus on the two end screens, and in the middle you have the application, which is in the other. No, this is the editor, theme editor. And then this is runtime, the application, the live application that is running. I'm showing colors, but it's very useful when you start choosing font size, padding, order, and fine-tune changes. It's very costly to get to the runtime, but this will show you how we do it. This is web. So what we see here is wonderful, but we have not invented a new course. There are other products that have similar characteristics for the web applications. They do the changes in the CSS, and the browser is updated. Now I'll show you web. There are other tools, of course. I have the same application. In this case, we generated it on Android. Why not show the... It's not showing the... This is Android. Don't change my theme. Here you see. This is the application in execution. I touch here. The application is running. And I look for a theme corresponding to Android, and I'm going to make another change that you can see from far, from a distance. I'll change the background of the items on that list. I'll change color also. Oh, that's good. It works. I'll change the attribute. Just to show you something different, I'll change the size of the price. But so far, we have shown one aspect. That's a theme. There are other things I could do. For example, language. For example, in the detail, I have a button that says Add to Cart. Let's see, I'll put another text. The green button says Add to Cart. Instead of Add to Cart, I will put Hello GX24. Yes, it changed. So we have also connected the translations editor. Does it work only with Android or with open platforms or UBS? It always works with my favorite platform. And then will it work with 2.5% of the standard? Yes, it will. It will. This is the same application for iPad. And we'll do some changes here as well. We'll change the font, and the attribute containing the price, we'll make it bigger. Yes, it changed. We'll make another change so you can see it from a distance. Let's put it white. I don't like it. It should look nicer. You are not a good designer, I think. Well, this is good. So this would be the main course in this lunch period. What about the dessert? Show me something for dessert. Yes, but first let me show you some help we incorporated here. This is very simple. If I had a larger KB, it becomes a little bit more complicated to go to the editor to see the class that applies to the control that I want to edit. We did a tool that's called Inspector. If I do it from here, I ask the device to show me a grid with the controls. And one help is to do them one at a time. You touch here and it changes. And as I change, the class here changes in the ID. So there you know the properties and what the field will affect. Now, the user experience design is not just changing properties of the theme or color. In some cases, I need to change the layout. What do you do? Yeah, that's true. That is why here we have the layout. That's the layout. So the editor of that name that you invented, I don't know what's going to happen with the design. And this is the layout of what we are seeing here. It's repeated on the grid. I'll see what happens if I move the image and put it here. And the image is very small. I'll move the price and put it at the top. So now you're modifying the layout of the screen of the application that is running. Yes, and I didn't save the object. I'm making changes on the editor. I didn't save it to the object. This is live edition. I am connected with runtime. But I want to show you something else. From the user experience, we're editing the theme, the translations, and the layout. But that's not all I can do. Part of what the application will do is the following. If I touch an item, it will call the detail. In this case, it calls it with a pop-up to see the details of the product. Why does this happen? Because here, under Events, let me see if I can show it in... the shorthand is Control+. But this is the event that is executing when we tap on an item. So now here, instead of saying pop-up, I will ask it to use callout. And it's refreshed here. So if I touch this here, I should not get the pop-up but the callout. Let's do something else. I will erase the event. If I touch here, nothing happens because it's empty. I changed the programming. I changed the event. I put a message command, and if I touch here, it should appear. That's what we call live editing. Well, thank you, Willie. And we'll go back to our presentation. This last part that he showed us, this last part was the dessert. And now, after his demo, you were so surprised. Now I have to go back to the boring PPT piece. So I will quote Brett Victor again, inventing on principle. He had another expression saying, how would I have ever discovered that if I had to compile and run between every change? We've just seen live connection between the GeneXus model and the application that was running. And this showed how the application was updated when the model was changed. And this shows how the running thing works. So this new technology opens up the possibility of developing applications in a new way, where we can play with our imagination, change things to check the effects and go back if we don't like them. So the trial and error cycle becomes faster. We are also opening up the possibility for a new kind of user. This type of application could be installed in a device of a designer or a person that doesn't know GeneXus but knows a little bit about design. Give him the theme editor and the person can play and make a better application. There are so many designs waiting to be discovered out there, and the tools we use must help us discover them so that we can visualize very quickly the effect of a change, and this is crucial. GeneXus is the best tool to design multi-platform applications. There's no other that does all the things that Willy demonstrated. And this is all I have to share with you. If you want to tweet that you liked it and this was the best demo, that's the Twitter account for myself and Willy, and on the right you have the hashtag for this presentation. Thank you.